He ingests food and drinks liquid on a regular basis.
And
smokes cigars.
It's going somewhere.
Thank you.
And when it goes there, it's coming out somewhere.
We don't know. Maybe it comes out of his ears.
Unless he's got a nuclear furnace in his gut and it's burning all of it up, at which point I think there'd be smoke coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, there'd be smoke coming out of his mouth. But he wouldn't have to light his own cigarettes. He'd just take them and turn them around.
How does the thing go to the bathroom?
Like everyone else, he squats. That's how he goes to the bathroom.
Reed came up with a toilet.
Oh, man.
I'm sure Reed made an adamantium toilet for him to sit on.
Wait a minute, why? Because he weighs 600. He weighs what? He close to 1,000 pounds.
Get out your copy of Handbook of the Marvel Universe.
I got it right here. I remember.
Look up how much he weighs.
He weighs 800 some pounds.
Okay.
Something awful is happening to me.
That's gross.
Okay, folks, show's over. Nothing to see here. Show's... Oh, my God!
You know, I've always been both impressed and disgusted at that.
That's the Chicago way.
Oh, you should put that speech on tape.
Hello, Chicago. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Gotta drink to that.
Welcome to Alternate Reality.
When the Hulk goes to the bathroom.
Yeah,
that's what you ought to be worried about.
He turns into Bruce Banner. That solves that.
Because
that's
remember,
BS theory right
for
there.
a long time, the old Hulk ate was beans.
Yeah, beans.
Oh, you
Hulk loved beans.
Right.
That was during the Crack-a-Jack Jackson era.
Hulk loved beans.
Hulk loved beans. I remember it was one where he had like a plate of beans. It was dumped out on a big round metal serving plate, like you put glasses on. And he bent it up to form a V, and he just held it up and poured the beans down his mouth.
Hulk loved beans.
Hulk loved beans. Grump, glump, glump. Hulk loved beans.
I know what it is. He eats like a pig, and he resorts back to Bruce Banner, and Bruce goes to the bathroom and says, "What the hell did you get me into?" There you go.
Okay, well, if the Hulk eats the equivalent of 20 cans of beans and then turns into Bruce Banner, why isn't Bruce Banner dead from having 20 cans of beans inside of him?
That's why his pants were always ripped.
There you go.
You see, this is the problem with this stuff. You start digging too deep into it, it all falls apart. So, well, how come Superman wears glasses and nobody can... I don't know. Why is it that the Hulk can eat 50 pounds of beans and Bruce Banner won't be dead when he changes back? All this stuff falls apart when you start tearing it apart. So you don't pick it apart.
You know what?
Just accept it and move
Hulk
on.
goes to the bathroom before he turns back.
Superman looks stupid in red trunks.
No.
Shut up and accept
Listen,
it. Move on. There's more important issues than what he wears or a pair of glasses or how much food the Hulk eats or how Spider-Man can climb a wall while wearing gloves.
But remember when Byrne took over Superman and he came up with a good way for that? He said he moves his face so fast that he can't recognize. You gotta give him credit for that.
Well,
it took 50 years for somebody to say, you know what, I got an idea.
And you know what the problem? You know what the problem is with that excuse?
What?
He has to do it all the time.
I know.
He's not moving, and nobody's going to think of doing that all the time. So it falls apart at some point.
Jay Garrick did it. Jay Garrick did it all the time.
Jay Garrick had a Doughboy helmet on over his head, which they always drew so his eyes were like shaded. Because it was there. It was like a baseball cap. His eyes were always shaded. And yeah, he vibrated his face, but all you could see was the bottom half of his face. And still, even with that, you're not going to be doing it all the time because you're not going to think of it all the time.
Oh, boy. You can imagine that. I must vibrate my face constantly.
Hey, folks. Thanks for tuning in to the Alternate Reality. I bet you're glad. Comic Book Man here.
Hulk like beans.
And I am being joined once again by the Abbott and Costello of podcasting, the one and only.
Would that make me Abbott or Costello? Because Costello is the prick.
You can pick one.
Whatever you want.
Pick one. Okay. Pick one. Go with Costello. You're the smaller of the two. You're taller. You can be.
Hello.
You can be Abbott.
Okay, Abbott.
Hey, Abbott.
And of course, we're also being joined by.
How you doing, kids? It's Bo.
Lou Costello.
Who's on first?
First base?
I don't know.
I wanted that shirt for my birthday. I dumped that on her Facebook page at home. She never got it for me. The Who's on First shirt. There's a Who's on First shirt going on around Facebook. It's a black T-shirt. It's got the outline of a baseball diamond on it. You know, infield, outfield, home plate, all thing. And it's just got the names for each location, for each one. Okay, who on first? What?
I don't know.
First, what's on second? I don't know on third. Who the outfielders are? Who the infielders are? Who the shortstop is? You know, it's got all their names. A pitcher, the catcher. It's got all their names on it. It's a great little shirt.
Where would you get it?
Same place online that I've got that Welcome to the Beep Show shirt that I have, which I put on their page last year to get me in. I was surprised when they got it, so I put the other one, the Abbott Costello one, Who's on First shirt on this year, and of course I never got it. Folks, anyone want to get me that T-shirt, I'd be eternally grateful to you, and I'll give you some back issue bucks.
They were sold out.
I wear a 2X.
Maybe they were sold out.
I wear a 2X. Anybody brings it in the store, I'll give you the equivalent in back issue bucks. Whatever it costs.
See, I buy 3X because they're more comfortable.
Anyway,
loose.
This is Comic Book Man, and we are doing news. It's news time, folks. We're going to cover all the news that's fit to print and even some more. And we're going to start off with comic book news. We're going to start off with DC news. DC news. C2E2 just happened last week. One of the things that was announced at C2E2 was the Hanna-Barbera 5th week event that's coming up, because there's 5 weeks in, which month is it? May.
Yeah,
5 weeks in May. And
5 weeks in May.
What DC is doing for the 5th week event is Hanna-Barbera specials. Now they've been doing
another one.
They've been doing the Hanna-Barbera books for a couple of years now.
Yeah. And people went, are these going to sell? And they actually did.
And they've been selling okay. They've been selling quite well. They haven't been burning the house down, but I mean, they've been selling well enough for them to keep expanding the line.
The Batman Elmer Fudd bling last year was probably one of the best comics of the year.
Yeah, it was. It surprised everybody. I ordered up extra on it, and I still sold out of it pretty quickly, because I knew it was going to be something. But the problem with that is you never know how many to order. Should I order 1,000? Okay, well, if I don't sell 1,000, I'm stuck with 1,000 books. So I probably could have moved 1,000 if I'd had them.
Good.
But anyway, in May, they're going to do a 5th week event, which will feature DC and Hanna-Barbera crossovers, which we haven't seen so far.
Hanna-Barbera characters from the 70s.
Oh, from the 70s.
Oh, the best part.
Now, is it going to be 70s DC characters or just 70s Hanna-Barbera characters?
70s Hanna-Barbera characters.
Now, contemporary DC characters?
In certain cases, yes. In some cases, no.
Okay.
Going to have Aquaman Jabberjaw, with the backup story having Captain Caveman, the Spectre, and Shazam.
Okay.
Black Lightning and Hong Kong Fooey.
That's
the retro one. That's the retro Black Lightning with the
with the afro,
with the fake afro mask.
Now remember, if you listen to these and you think somebody sounds stupid, Batman Elmer Fudd sounded stupid.
Yeah, it sounded real stupid.
And we just said it was probably one of the best
this
books.
Was really well done.
It was probably one of the best books of last year.
But that was got a backup with a pre-Demon Jason Blood and the Funky Phantom.
Okay, that was alrighty. I got that.
You got the Flash Speed Buggy starring the Wally West Flash and Super Son's Dino Mutt.
Because he was actually the star of the cartoon that's opposed to Dino.
You know, honestly, from most of these characters, aside from Hong Kong Fooey, I didn't give a crap about any of those characters.
Well, that's the funny thing about the Hanna-Barbera characters. Most of the characters in the Hanna-Barbera stable, unless you're of a certain age, you don't care about any of those characters.
You know the reason I like Hong Kong Fooey? Scatman Crothers did the voice.
Yeah.
That was it.
Well, I mean, we're of an age where if you're going to talk about Hanna-Barbera, you're talking Flintstones, Yogi Bear, Huckleberry Hound, the classics. If you were a kid in the 70s, these characters would be the ones you remember.
This is the characters I remember from Saturday morning cartoons, especially Jabberjaw.
Now, you're aware of Yogi and the Flintstones and the rest of them, but the ones that you grew up with were these, because these were the ones that you saw on Saturday mornings all the time.
These, when I was a kid, I didn't watch any of those.
I watched every last one of them.
Except Hong Kong Fooey.
Saturday morning.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, but when these were on, you were my age.
Yeah.
When these were on, we were in our mid to late teens.
Yeah.
No, we didn't care about this stuff anymore. We were moving on to other stuff.
I didn't care about it when it was on.
But if we were 10 years younger, yeah, we probably watched
this is kind of cool.
No, I was watching it up until I was forced to take organ lessons, but I remember every last one of these characters from there.
Well, I'm aware of all the characters because, I've dealt with them over the last 40, 50 years, in one way or another in the comic book universe. I've carried kids' comics going all the way back to when I first opened Alternate Reality.
It's quite true.
So these characters are nothing new to me.
If you haven't met them, they're new to you.
The big problem for me being a retailer is, and I have to see who the teams are and what they're planning on doing with this stuff, but because when they had that other 5th week event last year with the Batman Elmer Fudd, the other books in that series didn't sell nearly as well as the Batman Elmer Fudd did. They did okay, but they didn't sell nearly as well. You had Tasmanian Devil and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I think I've still got copies of that on the rack.
Probably.
Yeah.
The Black Lightning book is being drawn by Dennis Cowan.
Well, it also depends on what tone they take. I mean, the Batman FUD thing. That
was a noir story.
That was heavily a noir story.
Yeah, it was like, wait a minute, what? Who? It came out of nowhere.
Moving along, Justice League, the No Justice story arc, which is going on right now, isn't it?
No,
in
next
Justice
month.
League. No,
No Justice is being written by Scott Snyder, Joshua Williamson, and James Tynion. This No Justice is basically restarting everything from the end of Batman Metal number 6, which sets all this stuff up. So you're going to have we already talked about the Scott Snyder Justice League book twice a month. Justice League Odyssey, Justice League Dark. Apparently it's the 5th book, which is going to be led by Nightwing and Amanda Waller. They haven't said what the name of that book's going to be. It's also going to relaunch the Teen Titans. Apparently they're off in limbo somewhere. With Adam Glass, who came back. He worked on it for a while. And Bernard Chang, always a good artist. They got a team of Damian Wayne, Kid Flash, Red Arrow, Emiko Queen, Red Arrow, and new characters including Lobo's illegitimate daughter.
Who is Lobo's illegitimate daughter?
A character that they pull out of their butt, because I'm like, he doesn't have an illegitimate daughter.
Well, he does now.
He does now, and Dan DiDio at C2E2 said, we think this is going to be the breakout character of the DC Universe this year.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
I'm like,
really?
It's the daughter of a character that most people really don't give a crap about to begin with.
Well, yeah, we've talked before
Lobo
about Lobo. Lobo has a following.
Cult following.
Lobo is like Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
He's never going to have a huge following, but he does have a following. There is something to the character.
Yes.
Depending on who works on the book. The problem is you have to really know how to get in there and work the character in order for him to be interesting. Otherwise, he's just stupid most of the time.
Yeah, he's
but
guy riding a bike, making up words, smoking a cigar all the time.
But the elements are there to do something interesting with him because they've done it in the past. I mean, Simon Bisley.
Yeah.
He's the guy that put that character together in the first place.
Very interesting.
Nobody has done that level of work on the character since then.
Keith
Giffen attempted it, and he sort of kept
didn't
it
really
going
sell,
for a while.
But he tried it, yeah.
But it didn't really fly.
Then you had the new Lobo from last year. People went,
well, that was
what?
Get rid of him.
People hated that coming out of the box, and they never took to it. And DC kept trying to ram it down everyone's throat. You're gonna like this. No, they're not.
No, we're not.
No, they're not. Not at all. Not in the slightest.
Oh, and the Nightwing-led team, that'll be the Earth-based Justice League team because the rest of them are all out in space.
Cosmic Justice League.
Okay.
Moving over to Marvel. Fantastic Four Reborn. This was a big deal at the retailers meeting. Fantastic Four are back, baby. It's the original four plus the 2 kids. That's going to be the core of what this group's going to be. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be very much be Franklin and Valeria with the principal 4. They had nothing but great things to say about it. And some of the art they showed looked really nice, too.
Dan Slott and Sarah Pacelli. And Sarah Pacelli is actually the perfect choice for your Fantastic Four book.
She's good.
She is a really good artist.
She
does expressions. She knows how to do action sequences. She does a lot of really cool stuff.
That'll be perfect for the FF coming back.
And they said this is very much going to be in the mold of the first family.
Yeah.
So they're very much going to hit the family thing, but also the first family of the Marvel Universe thing. I mean, it's going to retake its position in the Marvel Universe.
They said that actually Slott, more than any writer at Marvel, he's used the FF in a lot of his books. He's a big FF fan. And Marvel 2-in-1 will continue.
Well, I think they said that he's got 2 to 3 years already plotted out and set to go with the book.
He plans ahead. No, he knows where he's going when he starts and stuff. He plans ahead heavily.
So he's just getting better and better because the book that he's leaving now, he's going out with a bang.
And this is July. August will be, and they haven't announced it yet, Uncanny X-Men's coming back in August.
Are they keeping the colors?
The red and blue books were rumored to be canceled. Then all of a sudden, they looked at Amazon for the future, and they're still around. They might keep the colors. So you'd have an X-Men book every single week.
Moving on to Infinity Wars. Infinity Wars is coming. It's a big summer event, which I guess is going to lead in from Infinity Countdown.
Yes,
which is going on right now.
Mm-hmm. Jerry Dugan and Mike Deodato Jr., so the art will be good, and Dugan knows how to do a schedule. It'll basically continue the hunt for the Infinity Stones.
They're still looking for him?
There's one missing, I think.
And that's what they're looking for.
Supposedly, one of them is going to wind up with a new character in Daredevil.
Yeah.
A black guy with a walking stick, and he's got the Infinity Stone as the jewel at the top of the walking stick.
It is also the cover for the Infinity War Prime is a new cosmic character who has something with his face. And you're going to have Adam Warlock, Doctor Strange, Gamora, Captain Marvel, Star-Lord, Thanos, Loki, and this brand new character. And that, Rodney, is why the Thanos book ended.
Okay.
Why did it end?
Because the Thanos book from Cates and his partner is in the future. The next arc would have to be in the present. You can't have him in the present while this is going on, because then the two of them would have to work this out. And they went, no, that'd be too much of a pain in the butt for us to coordinate. So we'll have you guys come back with something else. So Cates will be doing Cosmic Ghost Rider in July. And then he and the artist are working on something else. When this is over with, Cates is going to go back to Thanos.
At the retailer meeting, I saw some of the art for the upcoming books. The art on Avengers with Ed McGuinness looks really nice.
Sarah Pacelli's actually doing an issue of that, too.
They showed 4 or 5 pages from the first issue, and the art looks really nice on that.
Yeah, him, because it's going to be bi-weekly book. No, 16 issues a year. Are they going to do the same thing that Aaron did with the Thor books? You're going to have single issues, which will tell you the story of the 1000 BC Avengers.
Yeah, that's one of the things that starts off with. Actually, it starts off with the 1000 BC Avengers and the Celestial and the first judgment of the Earth. That the Avengers from 1 million BC or 1000 BC or whatever it is, they fought that Celestial back then.
And I'll be willing to bet that Jason Aaron's also got 3 years planned out for this.
Jason Aaron's was at the retailer meeting along with C.B. Cebulski. And
it was all Avengers. He's talking about Avengers for the whole panel.
And he was talking about how he's been planning on doing this Avengers book for a long time, too. And he's also got the next couple of years all planned out for that book. So, I mean, both Slott and Jason Aaron, they've got long-term plans for both of their books. And both of their books are the core books of the Marvel Universe.
They were in the Hickman mode.
Yeah.
Oh. I got everything laid out for the next 3 to 5 years.
And the art looks good. I mean, I don't know how long Ed McGuinness is going to be on that book, or how long Sarah Pacelli's going to be on.
No, she's only doing 1 issue.
Oh, she's only doing
They're
one
going to
issue?
have people coming in to do those issues with talk about the 1 million years Avengers. The same thing that Aaron did with the Thor book.
Right.
You'd have a new story, and then you'd have a single story. You can have a new story and have a single story.
Pacelli on the Fantastic Four. I don't know how long she's going to stay on the book.
Oh, she's capable of doing 16 issues a year. She's pretty fast.
They also showed Amazing Spider-Man art, because Amazing Spider-Man 1 is coming up also.
Very Ditko-esque?
Yes and no. I mean, a lot of the positions that the characters are in. Yeah, as far as placement in a panel, no, not so much. Panels I saw, they looked more cluttered than what Ditko would. Ditko would put a character in the middle of a panel or on some part of a panel that drew your eye, and a lot of the rest of the panel would either be a cityscape or nothing, or another character talking to them. But your eye was always drawn to one character. Hers seems to be more cluttered. There's like 4 or 5 people, per panel.
And he's back in black.
Yes, he's back in black. One thing I should also mention, too, because we talked about this earlier, legacy numbering. Marvel is keeping their legacy numbering. They are taking the UBC code, they're shrinking it, and I don't know how much you can shrink it. I think legally it has to be a certain size.
Yeah, I think it does.
But they said they're going to shrink it, and the garbage that's around the UBC code, like MarvelComics.com, the price, the Canadian price, and the legacy number, are all going to go in that section around the UBC code on the box. And that's where you'll find your legacy number. Now, you'll have a big number 1 on the first issue, obviously, but the legacy number down the little box is going to be 692, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, then number 2 will be 693, number 3 will be 694, but the numbers will all be down there. So
you can keep them in your boxes.
Well, you can.
However you collect yourself.
Well, you can figure out where this stuff goes then.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's been the big complaint with Marvel, which I have had.
How do I move around?
Well,
where do I file this? Where does this go?
After 4 reboots of Iron Man in 7 years, you start to look at all this stuff, and you don't know when it came out.
Yeah.
And so you're looking in the Indica for dates. And does this number 2 correspond in this series, or does this number 2 correspond with that series?
I just file them all in Iron Man.
You just pile them up in a corner and forget
about
them.
I file them over in Iron Man.
Okay, that's going to do it for comic book news. We're going to take a break. When we come back, it'll be time for media news. You know, folks, there really is no other store that has as many sales as Alternate Reality. Beyond our signature sale of 15% off all new comics, we also have specialized sales peppered throughout the week, month, and year. For example, did you know that every Thursday is Ladies' Day at the store? That's right, ladies. Stop by the store and you'll save 20% off all of your purchases all day long. Ladies from 8 to 80 get a 20% discount on everything all day, every Thursday, only at Alternate Reality. And we're back. Media news. What is this? Bond 25.
Yes.
Blade Runner's 2049's Dennis
Villeneuve. He wants to direct the Bond film. Daniel Craig wanted to do it, but he goes, I got this 2-part Dune movie to do, and I can't really fit it into my schedule. And so they went, we need to find another director. There's a guy named Van Damage. Yes, this is his real name. He was a guy who could have been the guy to direct the thing. They already had a script worked out. And then Danny Boyle, Trust, and 28 Days Later, he goes, I got an idea. Because he and Daniel Craig, when they did the Olympic thing, where he pops up with a parachute, Danny Boyle directed that thing. And he and Craig bonded, and he went, I got an idea. You want to do a Bond film? He says, yeah, I'll do a Bond film. And so Danny Boyle's going to be directing the next Bond film, Bond 25. Daniel Craig's last Bond.
His last Bond.
Yes.
Any idea what this one's about? I mean, it's the 25th one. It's sort of an anniversary.
Well, at the end of the last film, Bond had basically left the service, and he was going off to live a regular life.
Yeah,
so
that'll happen.
I guess it'll be yeah. I guess.
And he threw his bow tie in a garbage can and he walked away down.
I'm throwing away my white smoking jacket and I'm done. I put it in a garbage can.
Yeah.
So he's working on it with John Hodge, who wrote Trainspotting 2, and they haven't said what the story's about.
It's going to be deep British.
It's going to be deeply, deeply British.
Which is what Bond is supposed to be, deeply British.
That's like bitching about Captain America. Well, he's too American. Well, that's what he is.
He's American.
Who would say that?
Somebody in England or somebody anywhere else in the world besides here.
Right. Does the A on my head stand for France?
Yes, it does stand for France. Yeah. Geronimo.
Right.
Akira.
Finally.
Of all people.
Finally out of development hell, we think.
25, 30 years.
There's a long list of people who've been attached to this film since they said they're going to do it. One is Leonardo DiCaprio, who's actually producing the film. 2 films.
He's still producing it?
Yes, he's still producing the film. Okay. He's not going to be in it, but he's producing the film.
Anyway, it looks like Akira is going to have a director.
Yes.
Who, of all people, is the director of Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. And he's from New Zealand.
He's from New Zealand. Well, you know, when he got the job for Thor Ragnarok, I'm sure a lot of people said the same thing.
Him? Why him?
Yeah.
And they went, oh, crap.
He's good. Yeah, no.
Well, you know what? You know what's interesting about it? What the hell is...
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, him.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, him. You know what's interesting about that is he's at least from the right hemisphere.
Yeah.
To be working on this. No, I mean, the big complaint in Hollywood by Asians has been for, 40, 50 years how they've been whitewashed.
Yeah.
True story. I was laying in bed last night.
Yes.
Scrolling through the channels, watching something to put me to sleep. And I came across, of all things, on Channel 9's movie channel.
Yes.
Not Channel 9.
Mr. Moto?
No.
Chan?
I think it's this.
Yeah, it's this. I think it's this.
They're running Remo Williams. Remember Remo Williams?
Yeah, Joel Grey as a Chinese
Joel
guy.
Grey.
Yeah.
No, as a Korean.
As a Korean.
As a Korean monk. And I'm watching this thing, and I remember I really liked Remo Williams.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
No, I really liked Remo Williams.
Yeah.
It was a great little pulp character.
Yeah.
Late pulp character. Yeah. He's from the 50s, I think.
No, I think he's in the 60s.
60s? Okay.
Yeah.
But he's not like Doc Savage from the 30s.
Yeah, he's the historian, you had the historian and the executioner. They were both out of the 60s.
His character has a whole series of novels behind him.
Yes.
And up to that point, nobody had ever done much of anything with him.
Nothing at all.
And Fred Ward, who played Remo Williams in the thing, was really good.
He was very good.
But the point behind all this is, like you said, Joel Grey plays the Asian, elderly Korean, I forget the character.
I don't remember.
But he played his mentor.
Yes.
The guy who trained him.
Oh my God, I remember that.
And I'm watching this thing, and I'm thinking to myself, my God, I really like this, and I still do like it.
But
Joel Grey is just terrible as this.
Because the accent was horrible.
Yeah, and Joel Grey was a fine actor. Joel Grey's a fine actor. But even a fine actor, he's playing an Asian.
Yeah.
A South Korean.
You can't find any.
And you're
he's
looking at
Mickey Rooney and Flower Drum Song.
No. He's not. No, he's.
Oh well, no.
He's not that bad.
Joel Grey wasn't offensive.
No, he did not do the character offensively.
Yeah.
Okay, he tried to do the character as best he could. The problem is, he's an Anglo.
Right. He's Joel Grey.
He's an Anglo, and he's got the eyes all pinched.
Yeah.
And,
oh my God.
He's doing all the fortune cookie philosophy crap. And
Remo, you must learn how to avoid me.
You'll move like 50 pounds of crap on a cold winter day, stuff like that.
Yeah, and the Ward swinging at him, he's like,
yeah, and that's all, and that's exactly all it was. Ward would take a swing at him, and he'd just move his body a little bit out of the way so he'd miss him, or he'd shoot him, and he'd just turn his head to the left, turn his head to the right, move back a little this way, move back a little this way, and all the bullets avoided him. But the problem with that was he was not an Asian.
No.
Akira, one of the reasons this thing has been in development hell is because Hollywood has such a long history, Ghost in the Shell, of whitewashing anime and manga.
Oh, man.
And nobody wants to tackle Akira, who's
a white guy.
and not that
a couple of white teenagers.
And not that this guy's Asian, but he's from New Zealand. Yeah. So at least he's from the right hemisphere.
He's also said specifically there will be only Asian actors in the lead roles.
Good.
It's supposed to be because Akira's it's a landmark Asian anime. Every time an anniversary come out there, they stick the thing out on Blu-ray and still look at it on there.
And so is Ghost in the Shell.
Right.
Yeah.
And so is there's another one. It's like there's a trilogy of those things.
There was The Ring.
Yeah, The Ring. Yeah. The Ring. In some cases, you can take this stuff and you can transfer it over here and do it, and the story still holds up. It doesn't have to be an Asian story. Yeah. Like you can take Shakespeare and you can do it anywhere in the world, and it still works. But you can't take Captain America and do him anywhere in the world. And you can't take Akira and do Akira anywhere in the world. Or Ghost in the Shell, which is why everybody bitched so much about Ghost in the Shell.
You can do a Bollywood Archie, which is coming.
Well, yeah, but that's going to be a joke. Right. Nobody's going to take that seriously. But anyway, long story short, he's directing Akira.
Yeah, Asian teenagers, and he said it's a two-part thing, and he wants it to be closer to the actual manga, and so he's going to go focus back on the story. And he's going to get the job.
Well, after Thor Ragnarok, yeah.
Yeah, he can do anything he wants.
He'll probably make it accessible, too.
Oh, yeah.
One of the problems with something like Akira or Ghost in the Shell is it's dense. Yeah. And it's hard for people to get into. He will probably make it accessible enough where a mass audience can get into it.
Yeah, it won't be based in New Manhattan. It'll be based in Neo-Tokyo, which is where it's supposed to be.
Well, yeah. Moving on, X-Men, Dark Phoenix, New Mutants. Both of them have been delayed?
Yes, they've been
I know New Mutants has been delayed, but Dark Phoenix has been delayed
Both have been delayed. Reshoots for both of them. Simon Kinberg and Fox didn't really like the date that they got anyway. Cause they announced the date before they made the movie, and they went, I don't like this date. I really don't like this date. Could we please move this? And then Fox went, okay, we're going to move it. So, and they're going to do some reshoots, and I think they're going to add another character.
What was the date that he had?
July, August? It was this year.
What, he wanted for Christmas?
He wanted it to be a little later on in the year. Yeah, he wanted it to be a fall thing, as he said. And apparently they liked what he had, but they said, we want to add something to the third act. We need to do some reshoots. And like I said, they never liked the date to begin with. This is a situation where you announce the movie, you announce the release date, and you go, okay, make the movie. It never really works out.
Well, that's always been the Warner's problem.
Yeah. I got a date, we haven't started shooting yet. I got a date.
Here's a pile of money and a date. Yeah. Okay, we don't have a script yet to get started.
Yeah, and New Mutants, Joss Boone did it. It came out. And people at Fox went, this is like an R-rated horror film, and it made a whole bunch of money. You've got a PG-rated horror film involving mutants, but if it was R-rated, we could make some more money.
You would think you can make some more money. Just because it's R-rated doesn't mean it's going to make more money. Yeah, just because it's going to
make money. So, but they looked at the IT numbers and went, we like those kind of numbers.
Okay, let me tell you why that never works out. When you start looking at it, that's called a shooting star.
Yeah.
First off, you didn't really see the TV show when it was on there. You didn't invest in it. The numbers for that wasn't that big to begin with, even though they had the perfect actor in Tim Curry. Yeah. Then this movie comes out here and people
Tim Curry was the best part of that TV thing.
Yeah.
For the rest of it, it was kind of crappy.
Well, here's what the Tim Curry thing did to put it in people's heads.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't see it, you've seen Tim Curry in that makeup.
Yeah.
The crazy clown with the fangs.
You knew Pennywise the Clown was that.
Yeah, Pennywise the Clown. You've seen that.
He was the best part of that thing.
Well, so you're aware of it.
Yeah.
You might not know exactly what it is, but you're aware of it.
You're aware of it.
Sort of like Batman. The guy wears the costume and crawls around buildings at night, and he's got the bat signal in the sky. I might not have ever seen a Batman movie in my life, but I know
who Batman is.
But I know who he is. Yeah. So it established the character. It did that much.
Well, yeah, and then when the movie came out, they went in droves to see it. This was what I was saying earlier about the golden age of horror movie, where they basically said we need to concentrate more on fright as opposed to showing blood and showing what I would call torture porn.
Yeah.
And let's have a story. Let's stick to the story.
It's actually called torture porn.
Well, yeah, that's the phrase that was used for the Hostel, Saw, Teresa's, all those in there. And they said, well, we've done enough of that. We need to go back to where people actually go watch a movie and be frightened about it. And that's what it did. Now, from the trailer I saw for New Mutants, it did look like a horror movie. And I'm going, they trying to turn it, is this supposed to be about superheroes, or is this supposed to be about a group of kids with special abilities?
They're trying to have it both ways. The problem was they said, this isn't scary enough. Go back and make it scary.
Well, if at this point, if they're doing reshoots, the only thing I can see them being able to do with a reshoot, they're not going to be ripping the script apart and redoing the movie. No. So the only thing you can do with reshoots is just make it gorier.
Yeah.
Well, if you're just going to make it gorier,
that's not.
You're not touching the story. You're seeing knives going eyeballs instead of insinuating that a knife is going into an eyeball.
With New Mutants, what they're also going to do is they're adding another character. To the mix. Yeah, to the mix.
So it's a new subplot?
So basically, yeah.
If they wanted to make this a horror, they should have stuck to the Demon Bear storyline.
This is based on the Demon Bear storyline. That's the story. That's what they got.
But from the ads I saw, it was just basically them in the hospital. Now I know there's a scene in the book where Danny Moonstar was in the hospital because she basically got ripped to shreds by the Demon Bear. Yeah. But from what they were showing, this looks like something from the hospital, like one of those other last two horror movies about the hospital that didn't do too well in the theater.
The thing about that teaser trailer is that trailer never made it to movie theaters. That was only online.
You know what? You are right.
Yeah.
It was I actually saw them advertising on TV.
Yeah, that was it.
At 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it on YouTube. It was never run in a movie theater. So for people, what's delayed? Well, most people go, "There's a New Mutants movie." When did that happen? Was there supposed to be a movie?
Was there supposed to be a movie?
Who is in charge of the team? It's not Charles Xavier. So is it Emma Snow?
No, there's no team. There were a bunch of kids in a room. It's
kids in a haunted house.
Yeah, kids.
No, it looked like they was in a hospital.
Kids in a haunted hospital.
So there's nothing structured about this group. They just happen to come together.
They're just a bunch of mutants who are in this.
The only person I do recognize in there was Ileana.
Yeah, Ileana's in
it, and Danny Moonstar, because she does the whole.
The characters are all there. The characters are all in
and
the thing.
Something about some ghost that's coming through walls or something. Yeah, and a lot of screaming.
Yeah,
and then they said New Mutants. I said, what the heck?
But yeah, the problem was that they looked at it and they said they'd made a lot of money, and they said your film is nice, but it's not scary enough. You need to make it scarier. He's not happy about it, by the way. Boone's like, really? I was done. No, we're going to give you some more money. Make it scary.
And you still say that this movie's coming out.
They're both coming out.
Well, what about Dark Phoenix? Well, he didn't like the date, but you said they're shooting extra footage.
They're shooting extra footage. I think John Hamm's going to be in it.
I think because I heard the test artists saw something and didn't like it.
Yeah, and there was a story about John Hamm playing Mr. Sinister in this thing, but he didn't shoot anything. So I'm assuming when they do these reshoots for the third act, John Hamm's going to pop up as Mr. Sinister.
Okay, well, if they're inserting him into the movie,
yes.
Who the hell was the bad guy in the movie before he showed up?
Jessica Chastain.
And who's she play?
Did they reveal that this week? I think she's playing the Demon Queen or something.
This is Dark Phoenix?
This is Dark Phoenix.
So they're basically doing the Madeline Pryor, not Jean Grey.
More or less, yeah. And remember, this is the last Fox.
I know, but
this will be their second chance.
I know, but here's the mistake there. They set up the girl Sophie Turner. They set her up as Jean Grey in the last one.
She's Jean Grey.
So what, she's going to call herself Madeline Pryor in this one?
Well, no, wait a minute. The rumor was that Chastain was playing Lilandra. And then this week they said, no, she's not playing Lilandra. She's playing somebody else.
Oh, my goodness.
So anyway, yeah, this will be Fox's last chance to script.
Yeah, this is their last shot right here.
They shot themselves in the foot.
Well, no, for X-Men, Dark Phoenix is essentially the Galactus trilogy, which they've also screwed up.
Yeah.
Well, they shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, they're done. Yeah, I mean, the deal will be official in about, another month or two? This is their last movie under that anyway.
Good. That's horrible.
Well, except for Deadpool. Deadpool will still be a Fox movie, technically. Deadpool 3 and X-Force will still be Fox movies.
Yeah.
Technically.
Oh, man. I got to sit through another Deadpool movie.
Maybe we'll get a Shatterstar
movie. It's coming soon. You were at the con. You saw
Deadpool 2,
the Deadpool band. Put a mutant in your mouth, baby.
Oh, hey.
I looked at that. I looked at the
Terry Crews is in it.
I don't care. I don't like Deadpool.
Yeah, Terry Crews and a very skinny Cable.
Shatterstar is in it.
Well, you know what? I give Josh Brolin credit for just taking a check. Somebody gonna give you some money to play a character that you obviously not equipped to play. He's like, you know what? They're gonna recognize me as Thanos, so I don't care about this debt. The check clear.
He's working. He likes to work.
I have no problem with Josh Brolin. I like him as an actor, but when I saw him as Cable, I almost fell out laughing.
Well, Josh Brolin is also playing Thanos, isn't he?
Yeah, he's also playing Thanos.
Okay,
and he looks good. He looks damn good as Thanos.
He doesn't look like a skinny Thanos.
No, he doesn't.
But he looks like a skinny Cable.
I know. When I saw the Cable, I was laughing.
Which should tell you something about the difference between Fox movies and Marvel movies.
Oh man.
Yeah. And I'm sure there'll be Thanos jokes in this movie.
If you're going to use that philosophy, remember, Hugh Jackman's taller than Wolverine's supposed to be, and that worked out quite well.
No, let me say the difference between that, because Hugh Jackman loved the character. Yes. You could see that after the first movie.
But what happened when they said Hugh Jackman was playing the character? What was the first thing fans said?
They said he was too tall for
He's too damn tall for playing
the character. And they said Logan's Canadian and this guy's Australian. Yeah. And we're going to get that same one from the cartoon.
And you know what?
No, he's a good actor.
And the moment that Cable pops up, people are going to go, oh, we were wrong.
No, I bet they don't. I bet my half a paycheck they don't. Well, they're going to look at that and
go, we'll see.
They're going to go with
Okay, that's going to do it for media news. We're going to take a break. When we come back, it'll be time for wrestling news. Good grades deserve a reward, and at Alternate Reality, we make that an actuality. If you're a grade schooler in the Chicagoland area and you get a report card, then you're eligible to join our Good Grades Club. Each A gets you a 2% discount, and each B a 1% discount, up to a possible total of 25% off based on your grades for this marking period. Just bring in your current report card, and we'll issue you a Good Grades Club card, and every time you make a purchase, that's the discount you'll get. So stop by the store and get the discount you deserve for your good grades. And we're back. Wrestling news. Conor McGregor
went nuts.
Oh, wow, did he?
Now, what is wrong with Conor McGregor? What is his problem?
Oh, wow.
Conor McGregor. Now,
outside the fact he likes getting punched in the head.
We're going to tell the story, and I'm going to explain to you what this is over with.
Bo?
I think this is all a bit.
Bo?
Yeah.
Tell me a story.
Okay. Once upon a time, UFC 223, they had their media day. Conor McGregor and a couple of his friends showed up and decided to disrupt the whole thing. They showed up and started arguments and fights with the people on the bus. Conor McGregor picked up a dolly.
Yes.
And threw it at a tour bus.
Right through the window.
Broke the window, which knocked 3 guys off the card because they got cuts in the thing. And
this tour bus was full of
fighters? It was full of MMA fighters.
Oh.
Who were going from...
it wasn't grandmothers going to Vegas or something.
No, they were going from the Barclays Center back to the hotels they were at, and he just sort of showed up, and this was unannounced. Conor got arrested.
So is Dana doing bits now?
Yeah, I think Dana's doing bits, because this comes off as just a promo to make you go, when can I see Conor McGregor fight again?
That's an expensive promo. He got $50,000.
Conor McGregor has more money than he knows what to do with. He got bailed out of jail. How much was that? $50,000. And he's around.
And they say he can go back to Ireland.
And he's allowed to go back on his... Now, come on. You got it on bail and you can fly back to Ireland? You can actually leave the country? This comes off as an elaborate bit to pump a fight.
Oh, man.
So, we've talked before about the crossbreeding between WWE and MMA.
Yeah.
So, this is the MMA's picking up some stuff from the WWE.
Who's going to be at WrestleMania tomorrow? Dana White's going to be in the front row.
Oh, good for Dana. Is he bringing anyone with him?
Well, that's the ultimate question. But Dana's going to be there tomorrow. He's invited to be there. Conor McGregor's also been, he's part of an old-time wrestling school promo thing. This is a little crazy.
Yeah, that was that.
It's beyond the pale.
Yeah, because
it's a hell of a bit.
I know, he's sort of like Brock Lesnar. He's like an uncaged animal. You got to be able to control that rage. Cause all sorts of things could have happened wrong with him slinging that dolly like that.
I mean, he went through a window.
I saw it.
A couple of fighters got cuts in their eyes. And one guy who was in his entourage got pulled off the card, so that's costing him money. And they had to redo the card. They had to take 3 matches off the card because of what happened at Media Day.
And then when Dana
McGregor wasn't even invited to be there in the first damn place. He just showed up.
I got a feeling McGregor's going to be at WrestleMania tomorrow.
I wouldn't at all put it past him.
Okay, speaking of the WWE, Jonathan Coachman has been named in the ESPN lawsuit. What has Jonathan Coachman gotten himself into?
ESPN's been hit by a couple of sexual harassment lawsuits.
And Coach is part of it?
He worked at ESPN before he came back.
But that doesn't mean that he's guilty of anything.
Well, this story also comes off as a load of crap. There's a person who used to work for Adrian Lawrence. She accused a lot of people there of sexually harassing her and bothering her. Okay. She said, when she started working, Jonathan Coachman said, "Hi, I'm Jonathan Coachman, and I'd love to mentor you. And then here's my phone number, my personal phone number, and we can have a conversation." It was a regular conversation, then all of a sudden the conversation turned personal. And she said, "I have a boyfriend," it was over with. And Coachman never talked to her again. She also said Chris Berman said something that he never said. And some other ESPN worker said something to her, which apparently ESPN found was not true. So this is a publicity stunt, and Coach is just caught in the middle.
So he could end up losing his...
Well, WWE's investigating the whole situation. ESPN said we investigated this and there was nothing there.
So he did tell WWE about this before.
They were fully aware of it.
Okay, so then he's going to be on WrestleMania.
And
okay.
It would be like, okay, when he worked for WWE, do we hear these stories about him then? So what, he goes to ESPN and all of a sudden becomes a pervert? I don't think so.
Yeah, they got to be careful, though, because Donovan McNabb got in the middle of that and basically sharing a girl with somebody there behind the scenes. And she came out and said, yeah, she could describe certain things, and then boom.
Has anybody asked Corey what he thinks of this?
Damn it, Coach! When Cena comes out, why does he go out of his way to shake Coach's hand? I never got that.
I don't get that either.
It's
I
like,
saw that.
He stops.
He goes over and shakes his...
Hey, Coach, how you doing? And he waves. Hey, how you doing?
He's done that for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, Coach is right now, I think, the old...
He's the old pro.
He's the old pro.
No. Cole's older than he is.
Who?
Michael Cole's older.
Well, Michael Cole's been doing it longer. Yeah, I don't know if he's older, but he's been doing it longer.
No, Cole's older.
Cole's been there a long time. But is Cole sitting next to Coach?
Yeah.
Do they do the announce
Yeah.
together?
It's a 3-man.
On Raw, right?
Yeah, it's a 3-man booth.
Yeah. Okay, well, why is he doing that then? I mean, I can see him doing it because he's like the old pro. If it was JR sitting there, I can see him doing that.
And, when Cena's on tour on his bus, Cole's the guy on the bus with him. They travel the road together. So it's like, why aren't you doing it to Cole?
Maybe they're setting some long-form story.
I don't know. Or maybe Cena's just happy he's back. I'm just happy you're back.
Whoa, Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks. They're coming here?
They're coming here.
When are they coming?
September the 1st.
What bingo hall?
No, it's the Sears Center area in Hoffman Estates.
With a what?
It's in Hoffman Estates.
What is the Sears Center?
Yeah.
That bingo hall.
No, it's a little better than a bingo hall. That place can hold 10,000 people.
Yeah.
For a Ring of Honor show, that's a big venue. And it's also a self-financed show. Cody and the Young Bucks are paying with this out of their own pockets. So this is kind of a big deal for an independent show. The Young Bucks bet with Dave Meltzer that you couldn't possibly do a 10,000-seat arena, and they went, we'll take that bet. And this is the result of that bet.
So they won a bet.
The Sears Center, which I'll be honest with you, I've never heard of.
It's in Hoffman Estate. Well, you don't hang out in Hoffman Estates.
Obviously, but I do hang out in Chicago all my life. I've never heard of the Sears Center in Hoffman Estates.
Yeah, they predominantly known for doing like old school R&B acts there.
Yeah, conventions and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard of this place.
Cameo played a couple years ago. Yes, that band Cameo. Yeah.
So you can have Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Marty Scurll, Hangman Page, Errol is Stephen Amell.
God.
Oh, man.
Why is he showing up?
Because he and Cody have become
They're
tight.
still doing that bit?
Yes. They became friends.
Is Cody Rhodes, is he still doing the Stardust thing?
Well, he hasn't popped up lately, but yeah, he could probably pop back up on Arrow at some point.
No, he's playing
the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
Okay, the American
part of the Bullet Club, and he can play heel or face.
Okay, well, as the American Nightmare, is he doing like makeup and theatrics and shit? So it's just him.
It's just him. Okay. No makeup.
So what is Stephen Amell supposed to do if he shows up?
He's been working in wrestling.
He's been wanting to do wrestling ever since that
he did that bit. He picked up on it.
He got a taste of it.
And you can have Kenny Omega, which means a lot of people are going to show up, and Tessa Blanchard will be there as well.
So, answer a question for me.
Yes.
We talked the last episode about Tom Welling.
Yes.
Is this Stephen Amell saying to himself, I want to have a career after Arrow closes up, and I think it'll be in wrestling?
Yes.
As opposed to fruitlessly looking for some movie that I'll probably never get, or TV series that I'll never get?
I think
after Arrow.
I think Amell's pretty set on the fact he's going to be a TV guy.
You know what he suffers from? He
only did one movie. He did that.
Turtles thing.
He did a Turtles.
Yeah.
He thought that was his ticket out of Arrow, but he suffers from this too good looking and you stuck in a role forever, like Tom Welling is.
Yeah.
Stephen Amell is now he's stuck in that position where he's trying his best to get away from CW, but he can't. For some reason, so
I don't think he's at the point where he wants to get away from the CW. I think he's going to ride it for as long as it's going to go. And when it's gone,
how long Arrow's been?
This is his fifth season.
This is his fifth year.
Yeah,
and there's no end in sight for the show, so Hamill's not going anywhere.
Well, these shows usually run 7 years.
Yeah, Or you're supernatural and you stay on forever.
Or you could be supernatural and stay on. That's the one that's breaking the mold for all this stuff.
Yeah.
Up until Supernatural, everything was 7 seasons.
15 seasons of Supernatural.
Yes, sir.
The one that went against that was Enterprise. It only made it to the end of 4 seasons.
Yeah.
But outside of that, most of the genre stuff like this winds up going about 7 seasons before it gets yanked. Well, I would expect Arrow to go 7 seasons or longer.
Yeah.
The problem they have with Arrow is they are limited to the scope at which they're working in with that show. Arrow gets to be incredibly tedious after a while you're watching it, even this season, which I think is better than last season. But the storylines just stop making sense after a while because, he's obviously Green Arrow. He's the mayor of the city. Everybody knows that he's Green Arrow. And he keeps saying, nope, I'm not.
I am not the Green Arrow.
And it's like, well, that's nice. But nobody seems to be able to nail him to the wall on that.
You can't really prove it.
And it's just amazing considering how sloppy he is, with keeping the secret. And everybody around him is sloppy keeping the secret. Nobody, the bad guys just seem to be smart enough to actually nail him to the wall on it. While they bring in other characters from around the DC universe, ultimately it's a street level show.
Right.
And at some point, it's like, I've seen everything I'm ever going to see with this. It's not like you're to Flash and let's go to another Earth, or let's go to another timeline, or let's just do some special effects super speed thing to shake it up. With this, you're really hamstrung by the fact it's a street level show. At some point, these characters just aren't believable anymore.
Except next year with a crossover with Black Lightning.
That would help.
And that's going to happen next year because all the shows have been renewed. And yeah, Black Lightning will be meeting Arrow, and Arrow will be meeting Black Lightning.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Anyway, any more about the Sears Center in Hoffman Estates?
Apparently it's a nice-looking venue. I don't know. I've never been in it. I don't know.
Okay. And that's it. We're done with wrestling news. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for yet another thrilling installment of the Rorschach Test. Located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in the heart of beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood, Alternate Reality is the only brick-and-mortar store that discounts all new comics 15% off every day for everyone, and that's been since 1994. And all brand new first issues are discounted at 25% off every new comic Wednesday. So stop on down and save some money. And we're back. Rod, I'm going to start with you. No. I'm going to give you a name.
Yeah, I started the last one. You're stuck.
Yeah, okay. Your turn. I'm going to give you a name. I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear this name. The name is Han Solo.
The Last Cowboy.
Last Cowboy?
Yes.
That is one of the most interesting answers I've gotten out of this in the last 10 episodes. Tell me about The Last Cowboy. Why does it come to your mind?
Okay, as much as they tried to put Indiana Jones as the real hero, everybody knows deep down it was Han Solo because of the way he acted.
He was cool.
Yeah. I'm sure we all seen The Force Awakens and know what Solo's fate was.
Yeah, he gets killed.
He gets killed.
Spoiler, folks, Han Solo dies at the end of Force Awakens. That was like 5 years ago.
5 years ago, yeah. He gets killed by his son.
Hey, hey, Rosebud was a sled.
What I mean by The Last Cowboy was he was from that era of John Wayne, Robert Mitchum type of characters, almost...
Gary Cooper.
Yeah, sort of like Gary Cooper.
The word you're
Lee Marvin.
The word you're looking for is stiff.
No, really? No. You're going to call him stiff. No, you just... No, he was not stiff. Han Solo was not stiff.
It's not stiff. It's laconic.
Laconic? Yeah, which is a very polite way of saying stiff.
You telling me Han Solo was stiff?
Hey, kid.
Harrison Ford, yeah, but not Han.
Kid.
No.
You got to blame Lucas's dialogue for that. You can't blame Ford for all that.
I don't blame him for none of it.
No.
When I was a kid watching Star Wars and everybody wants to be Han Solo. No, it won't be Luke. No, it will be Han Solo. He's the cool one. He actually gets the girl. Which is now that he's...
Hokey religions will never replace a good blaster.
For those of you listening, he loves Star Trek and hates Star Wars.
I don't hate.
Yes, he does.
Star Wars. No, I do not. I do not hate Star Wars.
What
I just do not like it as much as I like Star Trek.
That's the same freaking thing.
That's not hate. I like Spider-Man, but I don't like Spider-Man as much as I like Superman. I like Batman, but I don't like him as much as I like Superman. Doesn't mean
think you like Batman
doesn't
at
mean
all.
I hate either. I like Batman. Batman's great. Batman's not the end-all, be-all of characters, though.
No, I agree with that, but getting back to Han Solo, the reason why I say The Last Cowboy is because now his story's over. You don't have anybody from that era that's continued, so that's what I meant by The Last Cowboy. And no, I'm not even bringing John McClane in it because there's only so many times he can save a building.
That's true. There's only so many things he can get stuck in.
Thank you. You're going to be barefooted for so long anyway, but... That's what I mean by Han Solo.
Okay, Bo?
Reluctant hero. He didn't want to be a hero, but he became a hero, and he said, well, since I'm here, I might as well do something about it. He's the guy going, I'm off on my own, I'm gambling, I'm drinking, I'm doing all the things that I'm not supposed to be doing. I'm not a nice guy. I've done some really questionable things in my life. But
he's a scoundrel.
He's a scoundrel. He's a rogue.
Another great George Lucas.
He's a rogue.
That he brought back from the 40s.
Look, that's what Star Wars is supposed to be.
That's what it is. Yes,
one of my favorite Harrison Ford lines was in Empire, where he's with Leia and they're in the Millennium Falcon, and she's trying to push some heavy lever up, and he helps her, and he goes, "Thanks a lot. I could have done it myself." And he says, and they start talking back and forth, and he says, "You wanted a scoundrel. You've always wanted a scoundrel in your life." And it's like, nobody says scoundrel. I don't care what universe this is. Nobody says scoundrel, and you're saying it like it's an actual word that people use every day. You want a scoundrel in your life. You need a scoundrel in your life.
You want that wall. You want someone to watch that wall.
No, and I don't blame Harrison Ford for that. That is the dumb.
And the immortal line where Leia goes, "I love you," and he goes, "I know." And that was perfect. That was literally the perfect line, and it was a line that he came up with on his own. Lucas didn't write that line. Ford came up with that line. Well, I know.
And you know why? If that's true, you know why that is? Yeah. Because Lucas wasn't around.
Yeah.
That's the movie right. Lucas is out to lunch for.
I don't like this one because it's darker and people like it more than they like mine.
I left and did Willow, and while I was gone, you people took my crayons and you did drawings that I don't like.
You brought Lee Brackett, Lawrence Kasdan, and Urban Kirschman and said, "Why don't you just make an actual movie?"
Yeah. And they did, and it was great.
And Lucas went, "It's not my movie."
I give all the props in the world to Empire. Empire is the best Star Wars thing that has ever come out, with the exception of Rogue One, which I just saw like 4 or 5 months ago for the first time, and that is damn good. Yeah. Rogue One is damn good, but up to that point, Empire's been the best thing that the Star Wars franchise has ever made. And as a Star Trek fan, I'll say there's lots of Star Treks that are lesser out there, which I will elevate, in my mind, to being better than they deserve to be on any level. Like 5.
Brother,
yeah, like 5. I will overlook a lot of yes. Well, that's a great line. That's a great line. That is the only good thing in that movie, but that is a great line. That and we're getting old Star Trek thing now. But that and the whole row your boat thing. Yeah. It is clumsy and it is hackneyed as hell. But there is a core there that a better writer could have taken and done something with. With row your boat gently downstream, merrily, merrily, merrily. Life is but a dream. You're dealing with a guy who's completely logical, but has his human side fighting inside of him, and he's going over the line. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. Life is but a dream to a totally logical guy who is half human, trying to dissect that and tear it apart. There's a lot there to work with, which they never do in that movie. But they hit it a couple of times, so you know that there was something they could have worked with it. And that is, I know, that is the best line in that thing. But Empire is a superior movie to Star Trek V, obviously. It's a much better
And even in Last Jedi, you get a Harrison Ford moment. What is Mark Hamill's last line in that film?
Last Jedi.
Yeah. What's his last line? Kylo Ren is beating a person who, if you haven't seen the movie, is not really there. He goes, "See you around, kid." And I'm like, that's a Harrison Ford line.
Oh, right.
That is a Harrison Ford line. "See you around, kid." And you're like, wait a minute. He's doing Harrison Ford. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, okay. That was it. I remember.
So yours was Reluctant Hero?
Reluctant Hero.
And Last Cowboy. Those are both pretty good. Okay. And that's it. We're done. We're finished. We're out of here. That's all the news we've got for today. But be sure to stop off at the store. Pick up all this week's new comics at 15% off. All the first issues every Wednesday, 25% off. And be sure to stop off the store's website, myalternatereality.com, where you can read all of Bo's news. You can read all of JR's reviews, Vito Carly's reviews, plus a whole bunch of other stuff, including shipping, and Free Comic Book Day is coming up. I've got the shipping list up for that. You should take a look at it when you get a chance. And that's about it for the alternate reality, Rod.
Goodbye, scoundrels.
Thanks. Goodbye. Yeah. And Bo?
So long, rogues.
So long, rogues. And this is Comic Book Man saying bye. Thanks a lot for listening. If you enjoyed this show, please like and share it with all your friends. We value your feedback, so drop us a question, comment, show idea, or complaint either at arcomics@msn.com or, if provided, in the comments section down below on this platform. opinions expressed in this episode are solely those of the individuals and not necessarily those of Alternate Reality Incorporated. This show is, as always, coming to you from the Alternate Reality Comic Shop, located in the heart of beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie, serving Chicago comics fandom since 1994.
Elvis has left the building.